Hello everyone, it's Jeannie from A1 Vacuum and Sewing, and I just finished doing the test stitch out for demo days. So if you are doing demo days with us, this is the project right here. It's called Demo December Holiday Home, and this is from Kimberbell. Every December, I think this is the third one, they have a project where if you watch 3 demo videos, then you get this free design. And at our store, we will kit this for you. So I have gone ahead and done the first part, which is called I Heart Applique Test Sample. If you're going to be using one of their faux leather totes, you want to do a test out first, just to make sure your embroidery comes out looking beautiful. These aren't cheap, so you don't want to stitch on this and have it look icky and then be like, oh no, what happened? So do your test out. When you buy the tote and they come like this, they come in a little wrapper, and there's turquoise, pink, red, and black. It comes with a little test piece that's 4x6. So that's where this came from. When I opened up my pink one, this was in there for you to test it, which I think is fantastic. Okay, so test it first. Once you're done testing it, now we're going to get ready to stitch. So I did a separate video for this, and I got to warn you right now, I don't know why the video and the audio don't totally match. So I restarted my phone and my headset, so hopefully that is fixed for this video. So here is Holiday Home, which is what we're going to do. These are the fabrics that you're going to be using, and there is Shape Flex in your kit for all the pieces. I don't know why, but all they want to have you put Shape Flex on are these 2 pieces. To me, I think it's kind of silly because these are the lightest 2 that will shadow through if you don't use, you can kind of see the pink through here, and this will shadow through too. So, I mean, you can't see it through the dark colors. I'm recommending that you put Shape Flex on everything. So go ahead and heat up your iron. As far as thread colors go, these are the thread colors I'm using here. Linen, Wildflower, Tidewater, Mint Julep, and Shadow. And that's what you're going to see a list right here. And those are the colors that I've chosen. So I'll add that to the supply list if you want. And I'll talk about it as I'm stitching out. You need your tote. We're going to be using Stick Dissolve Away. So here's my Stick Dissolve Away Sticky Back Wash Away Stabilizer. I'm going to be stitching in my 5x7 hoop. So let's go ahead and get started. You're going to see there's 3 parts. Number 1 is testing, which I've already done. Number 2 is hooping the storage tote and stitching the holiday home design, which I'm going to do. And number 3 is finishing the storage tote, which is super, super easy. I love how they made it. So I'm going to go ahead and hoop this up first. I usually cut my pieces 9 inches, and this is 12 inches wide. You could get away with a little bit smaller. And I'm going to go ahead. I like to start from the top and just work my way down. I'm going to muscle this in. And, okay, hang on. And I might, you know what? Let's open it up just a little bit. I just had this set for the other one, and it was perfect, so. But I'm having a little bit of issues getting it in, so. Okay, we're in. We're in. Never leave it in just like this. You want to check the back side and make sure the inner hoop is flush with the outer hoop. So I'm going to push it up. If you don't, it could separate while you're stitching, and that's no fun. So now you can see it's all flush. I'm going to go ahead and hand tighten this, and then you want to take your screwdriver, and I use my advanced screwdriver. And I'm going to just tighten it just a little bit more, okay? Should never be loose enough for you to undo by hand. The other thing I'm loving, which I already showed you, is my set of probes. And when I say that word, all I can think of are like aliens. I don't know if you guys have seen that skit on Saturday Night Live with Ryan Gosling and I forget her name, but she's so funny. And anyways, probes make me think of aliens. I'm just going to drag it around. You want to drag it around so you cut through the paper, but not through the stabilizer, because you need that stabilizer intact. Okay, now you're stuck with the sticky. I'm going to go ahead and slide this on my machine. I already have a white bobbin in there. And while I'm doing that, now we're going to go ahead and we're going to prep the fabric. So here's my fabric. Here's my, you should have 2 pieces of Shape Flex. One that is 6.5 inches by 4 inches. And I'm just going to lay this down. This is fusible woven. It's got a bumpy side that has the fusible on that faces up, and then you iron this down. Wrong side of your fabric goes down. And then we're also going to fuse this. You should have another piece that is, I think, 2 inches by 3.5 inches. I got to check those measurements, right? Just to make sure those are perfect before we cut our kits. I guess that doesn't matter. It's a square piece. All right. I'll just make it fit best as possible. And then you can cut these 2 pieces apart. Whoop. And look at this one more time, because I have to send the 6.5 by 4. Yes. And this is 3.5 by 2. Yes. Okay. I'm just going to cut this apart. And then we are ready to go. So we have that. We did this part. Use this diagram as reference when stitching out the folding storage tote. Each section is numbered for ease of use. This diagram shows the smooth side of the leather. So if you look at it, if you put it up close, both sides look textured. This one too, if you look at it close. But if you hold it kind of far away, that's where you go, okay, this is my textured side, okay? This is my smooth side. So if we open this all up, I love these totes. They're so easy to use. Just like the picture, this is section 4. Here's section 4. Sorry, I know it's glossy. 4, 3, 2, 1. 4, 3, 2, 1. Smooth side up, okay? So we did our fusible right here. We did our, we hooped our stabilizer. We're going to load the design. Let's go to the machine and let's load the design and get our threads and get stitching. Okay, so we're going to get ready to stitch. This is up on my screen from before. I'm going to go home to clear my screen. And I'm going to go embroidery and let's load our design, which is going to be, I have demo. We are going to go ahead and it looks like we're going to load the Holiday Home embroidery file into the machine. That's going to be this one. Let's go ahead and set it. We're using our 5x7 hoop. It says skip direction step 4 through 8 if you are not stitching the design on a Kimberbell tote folding storage tote. So skip 4 through 8. So this all the way through here, we would be starting right here, but we are stitching on the tote. So stitch the placement guides and center tick marks directly on the stabilizer. We're going to do that. You want to do a color you can see. They showed like a little eye, and that means use a visible color. I'm going to go ahead and do Tide Water because we can see that. And I didn't hit embroidery on my screen yet, so let me do that too. Embroidery. Oh my goodness, I did 2 videos, and for some reason my audio and video didn't sync. Okay, I'm going to say embroidery here, so I think this one is fixed now. And let me pull that little curl out, and we're going to stitch right on your stabilizer. That is what you're seeing here on your screen, the line right here and the line right there. So let's do that. Okay, after you do that, it says locate the flap. That's going to be the smooth side. Oh, wait, this one, textured side up. So now they want you to flip it to the textured side up. Locate the flap, section 4 on the textured side of this tote. From the end of the flap, measure 2 7/8 to the left on each side of the flap. Make a mark using chalk or fingernail indentation. Let's just use a fingernail indentation, right? So 2 7/8. This time they want textured side up. So here's my textured side. I'm going to go ahead and flip that up. This one's a little more textured. You're going to measure in 2 7/8, and I'm just going to put like a little finger mark line there. So here's my 2, and here is 7/8, right before the 3. Right there. And I'm just going to go ahead and just put a little, do you see my little fingernail indentation? I don't know if you can see that well. You know what? I feel like it just disappeared. I'm going to just do this. That's a little easier for me to see. Do you see that little dot? Okay, I'm going to do it down on this side too. 2 7/8. Nobody's going to see that little dot. I put an actual little hole in it. Do you see that right there? That's it. Put something in that you can see. Okay? And I can see them on both the top and the bottom. I actually put like a little hole. With my new probe that I love so much, I'm going to use it for everything. I'm going to use it on Patrick if he's bothering me. I'm going to be like, Okay, so I did that from the end flap, left on each side of flap, make a mark. And now it says, place the tote flap textured size up inside the placement guide on the stabilizer. Align the marks on the tote flap with the centering tick marks. Smooth the flap firmly and ensure it is adhered well. Tape in place. So that little mark is going to go on that centering mark. Let's go ahead and do that. And it does want you to tape it in place. I'm going to take this over there. Here is my tape of choice. I like Transport. This is the best tape ever. The reason I love it is because I don't have to put it in a tape dispenser, although I love my Kimberbell tape too. But this is super sticky and it just rips really easily, and it's just really easy to use. So I'm going to go ahead and put that on my machine because I'm going to use that, not throwing that away. And let's go ahead and lay this down. Come on over. Come on over, friend. That's my squeaky arm. I know when I was going through treatment, somebody sent me a note saying that they missed my squeaky arm. Okay, textured side up, not smooth side. Textured side up. And I have those little, I know it's going to be hard for you to see, but I can see I have one little dot right there, and I have one, I can't even see it. Let's put this one on. I can see the top one, and then we'll just line it all up. Let's pull this down. There's your centering mark. There it is. I'm just going to get that one lined up and then line up the very top. And everything else should fit. Yeah, I can see my mark there. It's so hard to see. You might not be able to see me, but believe me, it's there. All right, so lay this down. And if you look at your picture, it wants you to put a piece. I'm going to put a piece of tape wherever they tell me to put a piece of tape. looks like a piece of tape right here near that edge on this end and right there at that corner. So I'm going to go with a piece of tape right here on this end. Another piece of tape right here, where up to where that corner is. And I'm going to do one more right down here where that corner is. And then we should be good to go. This is a 21-minute stitch out. Right down here. And I think we're good. Okay, we are taped. Smooth the flap firmly and ensure it is adhered well. Tape in place. Accordion fold the excess tote towards the hoop by folding section 2 over section 3 and then folding section 1 over 2. So we're going to fold this in here, and then it looks like we're going to fold this in here. So here we go. Accordion. One like that, and one like this. So I have those two pieces, and then it looks like they just went ahead and taped it up here and down there. Okay, we can do that. More tape, please. Did it tape it to the edge? One over here. And then we'll do one over here. There we go. It looks gorgeous. I love how it's taped. All right. Secure with tape or clips. Tape the edges of the tote flap to the stabilizers as shown. Important, when moving the hoop and tote, be sure to support them well to accommodate the extra weight. Okay, now you're going to place your wash away topping. You should have a piece of wash away topping that is 6 inches by 6 inches. Let me grab mine. Left it over here. Here it is. And you're going to place the wash away topping over the entire area where the design will be stitched and tape into place. I like it when I'm going to have a piece right there where it's just going to stick, and then more tape. More tape. We'll just put a piece right down here and a piece up here. And I'll put a piece right there. I'll just put this here. I think we are pretty taped and ready to go. Now it says stitch the house placement line, and it's asking for the mint. So I'm going to slide on my hoop. I'm going to support the extra weight like they told me to. And let's go ahead and put in your mint green. I'm using mint julep. There were so many mints to choose from. I had trouble. Let me grab this. And I'm going to grab my applique pieces, and we're going to spray them in the spray tent. So here are my, let's tidy up, Jeannie. This is getting a little out of control here. Here are my threads. Here's my tape. Okay. Let me put in my mint julep. And if my audio and video don't match this time, then I think that's the higher powers telling me to go to bed. Sometimes that happens, right? Okay, this is a placement line. It shows on your screen in turquoise. Tack down is going to be, in orange. I'm going to go ahead. These are my applique pieces. I'm going to give them a little shot of spray to the back. So they're all ready to go. So here is my handy dandy spray tent. And then here is the spray that I love. It's Ganold KK100. Sorry if my lighting is not the best right now. I'm spraying it. Don't go crazy. You don't need to go crazy. Okay, I'm going to grab my light, this one, the light mint one. Go ahead and put it down. Let's read our instructions again. Just make sure I'm not leading you astray. So we stitch the house placement line right here. And now it says place the house fabric right side up. You're going to stitch the tack down. We're doing it in that mint julep. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit start. And then I need a pair of scissors where I can trim this. Let me get my scissors. Then you're going to trim the fabric close to this stitch line. Okay, I'm going to move this over here so I can pull this out towards me. We're going to trim this close to the stitch line. A double curved pair of scissors is so important in your stash because you need one curve to kind of go away from the fabric so this isn't cutting into your fabric, and another curve here to go up and over the edge. So trim it, but don't cut your, oh, you know what's so funny is Patrick trimmed this for me, and, I'm sorry, he, I think he sharpened these for me, and I can only cut them with my right hand now. Okay, go ahead and trim. And then the next step says stitch the house decorative outline and the upper leaves fill. I feel like I didn't get totally close enough with that. It's not totally close, but okay, we're just going to go with it. I'm going to go ahead and slide this back on. And here is my decorative stitch outline. Next thing we're going to do is we are going to put in our linen. And we're going to do the placement stitch for the chimney. Now your chimney is going to be this fabric right here, so get your plaid fabric ready to go. Looks like it is also doing the leaves. Oop. Gotta be careful. It's getting close there, huh? Okay, that is, to me, I don't know why I have to have this quite so close. I would say, whoops. I would say, hang on, we're going to get this up and out of the way. And I would say fold it over twice and then let that excess kind of just hang over the left side. Because this is really, really close. Here, we're just going to hold it like that. And I think we're going to be good. So I just unfolded it because that just kind of hangs down. And I'm going to get this back out of the way too. It is. There we go. Okay, ready? Now let's finish it. Ooh, and that would have been even further over. I'm going to add to my notes just to fold it over twice. So let me go ahead and fix this because I didn't catch the accordion part, which means this section, the very last section, gets folded under, and then this gets folded down, and that leaves some space there. I had it folded over where it made it overlap. So if you do want to fold it, you can go ahead and fold it just like that. I really think just folding it over like this is going to be fine. I'm just going to kind of leave it like that and I'll kind of watch it, but I think we'll be okay. Okay, next thing we need to do is, hang on, let me turn. Here we go. Chimney. So I'm going to go ahead and put in my linen thread. I'll see if it gets in the way. If that gets in the way of the arm like that, I'm going to be watching it. We're going to do placement stitch. This is the placement stitch for your chimney. And we're going to lay this down next. So cute. I love this plaid. Place the chimney fabric right side up. It's just a little itty bitty bit. I want some of the darker stuff in there, but I'll just lay it down like this and see what we get. Go ahead and do your tack down. You're going to leave that same linen in. And I still have my 70-10 needle. So you should be using a 70-10 needle for this. I have like 8 million pairs of little double. Oh, there's a pair. I haven't been able to find them. Been looking. Just hiding from me. Great. This looks like a backwards Nevada. Like our state. My state. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and slide that back on. And it wants to do the chimney decorative outline. You're going to leave linen in and go ahead and stitch that. And then we're going to change out our thread to Tidewater, and we're going to do the roof placement. Sorry, I'm trying to get my arm to settle. Okay, I'm taking out my linen, and I'm going to put Tidewater in. Here's my placement stitch for the roof. Okay, I'm going to put my roof down. Put your roof fabric down, and now we're going to do the tack down. This is step number 21, stitch the roof tack down line, and then you're going to trim the fabric close to the stitch, and then we'll stitch the roof satin outline. Here's my tack down. Let's go ahead and do my trim. And then it's going to do a satin stitch. Let me pull this more towards me. I guess depending on what your, how your embroidery arm works. Like this one, I don't feel like I need to worry about the fabric. The rest of the tote, you want to be careful not to be cutting away that topper underneath. Aren't these colors so cute? Okay, here we go. And just go ahead and start, and it's doing the satin stitch around the top of the roof. Then you're going to put in your wildflower, whatever red you're using. We're going to do the door. There's not going to be a whole bunch of movement. I just have this kind of laid over here and it seems to be fine. But just watch that. Okay, I'm going to change out my thread. I'm taking out my Tidewater and I'm putting in Wildflower. Couldn't drag me away. I can't help it. There's certain things, certain words, certain names that make me sing certain songs. That's one of them. Okay, just change that out. First, it's the placement line for the door. You want to get your last piece of applique fabric, which is the red with the polka dot. Look at how big that is. Okay. Mine is sprayed, so I don't have to tape it. But if you didn't spray, make sure you tape or do something so it doesn't move around. You could even use your stiletto to just hold that down, or the tip of your scissors or whatever. I want to use mine, but it's all the way across. It's like on a different table. Okay, so we're going to trim this out next. Let me go ahead and trim this. Again, you need double curved scissors. They are like so important. If I had to choose anything, I would get double curved first. Then I think I would get snips. And then I would get curved straight. because I didn't even know about Curve Straight for like years. I had them, and then one day I used them. I was like, oh my God, these are amazing. Got to contort my hand. Okay, here we go. There's the little itty bitty door. So we just went ahead and did this step right here where we trimmed. That's step number 27. Let's turn our page. And now we're going to stitch the round window fill and scalloped roof edge. That's going to be in linen. So I'm going to take out my red. Let's put the linen back in. This is going to be a 3-minute stitch out. I'm 6 minutes into 21 minutes. And just know when I do these videos, a lot of times, this is the first time I'm doing it with you. Just because I have such little time, I just go for it. I'm like, we're filming. Then we're going to put the mint julep in. And that's going to be the lower leaves fill. That is so cute. That little stitch just pops. All right. Let's go ahead and put in the mint green. There's going to be 2 sets of leaves, I think. And so you're going to do the mint green, and then we're going to do the medium teal, and then we'll do the red. So kind of all goes in order. So this is stitching out the round window satin outline and the lower leaves fill. And you can see it on your screen. You can also look here. So it's doing the outline right here of the window, and there's some little leaves here that it's going to stitch in. Okay, I'm going to put in my Tide water next. Looks like I need another spool of that. Don't want to be left without, right? That's the worst when you run out of a color. For me, I can just run down to the store and go get more. But for you, it might be like a Sunday and your shop might not be open. That's never fun. Okay, this is step number 30 in your instructions and 15 in your stitch out. And now it's doing the dark lower leaves. finish this part, we're going to do the red satin outline on the door. So get your red ready to go. All right, let's go ahead and put a red in. This is going to do the satin stitch on the door. So we are on step number 31 right here. We're doing the satin outline, and then we're going to do this step right here, the red berries. So you're going to leave your red in for this step and the next step. And we are almost done. We've got, after this step, 3 more steps, and then we put our tote together. Don't forget you've got a little needle in there. That's a 70-10 needle. You're going through some thickness right now. If it breaks, that's okay. Just put in another one. Now you've got a ton of berries, so just go stitch away. There's going to stitch a ton of berries. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. At least 18 of them. And I was just counting from the screen, so just stitch away. right. I was over here prepping for another project. Let me go ahead. Because I get so antsy when I'm sitting here just watching it stitch. So next thing that we're going to do is we just did the berries. We're going to stitch the window pane detail, home for the holidays, and the doorstep. And that's all going to be in, I'm using shadow. So I think it said to use like a charcoal gray. My favorite charcoal gray happens to be shadow. And so let me go ahead and thread up with that. It's this one right here. It's just like, I don't know if you can see that. I don't know if you can, but it's the best charcoal gray ever in all the history of mankind. Well, it's the best one if you're doing Kimberbell projects. It just seems to go. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and hit start. And it is going to do the window pane first. And if you are doing this and you see white dots, just go ahead and change out to a matching bobbin. Mine looks pretty perfect, so I don't think I need to. If you're using black, I would automatically just go ahead and put a black bobbin in. This looks pretty perfect though. I'm not seeing any white. And that doesn't necessarily mean, I mean, sometimes it means you have a tension issue, but sometimes it's just the pin dot. You're just seeing the pin dot. That looks amazing. This is 3 minutes of stitching. Just let it go. You're going to have some trimming to do. You want to make sure that you go ahead and trim all those jump threads or all the little tails that are sticking out. right. The last step is, or the last color we're going to stitch out is we are going to go ahead and we're going to put the linen back in. And we are going to stitch out. There's no place like the white berry detail and the doorknob detail. So let's go ahead and put in your linen. I've just been prepping for another project while this is stitching. But honestly, I could sit here and just watch it stitch and be mesmerized. Sometimes it's as though I'm brand new. I don't know if you remember when you were brand new and you would just sit and just watch it stitch and just be so amazed. Oh, that's so funny because where it's stitching the little doorknob, I already had a little white dot right there. And that is done stitching. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and take this and trim it right now. So let me grab this. There are so many little threads that are sticking out, and I'd rather just do it right now and then wait to do it later. So I am going to go ahead. I'm sitting Indian style on my little ottoman, and these are the tools I'm going to use. So I love my precision tip tweezers, and I love these. These are my hook snips. I also love my side hoppers, and I go back and forth between which ones I like most. These have like little feet that go and sit on top of your fabric, so I can grab my thread right like this. Oop. Okay, he is stuck under there. You want to hold it nice and taut straight up and then go ahead and snip. So these are awesome too. Why don't I use this for part of it, and then I'll use my other ones for the other part of it. Take your time. You hear that? You guys probably don't hear it, but Poppy's in here and she's snoring. She had a rough night last night. I don't know what was going on, but she did not feel well, so she's probably exhausted. Let me see if I'm getting closer with this. And I find I will take these and flip them different directions to get close. And I'm having a little trouble seeing because the camera is in between me and the project. But you need both. You can't just use the snips. You need those, and you need the tweezers to really get close. Let's go back to my side hoppers. Maybe I'll do them this way. Maybe I can grab it better with my right hand. Oh, this knot is getting in the way, isn't it? There we go. Okay, you get the gist, right? I'm going to go ahead and let me pause the video so you don't have to sit here for all of this, because there's quite a bit that needs to be trimmed. So take your time. I will be back in just a minute when this is all trimmed and ready to go. Okay, I think I did a pretty good job trimming it, but it's definitely not perfect, but it looks pretty good. There were all these little fuzzies like on the very ends that I had a little bit of a tough time getting to. So now what we're going to do is we are going to remove all the tape and tear away the excess topping. So let's go ahead and do that. Pull in towards your project is usually the best way to do it. And we have our new Proby probe. I love this one because it has a little bit of a curve, so it's going to go away from your project. And then this, in conjunction with tweezers, always comes in handy. but you just want to be careful. And then you can take a wet Q-tip and kind of rub it along the areas that you need to get the rest of that water soluble off. Then it says remove the project from the hoop, cut away the excess stabilizer from around the back. I find that I can just kind of rip it away. So let me go ahead and take this out. I'm going to turn this to the back. I'm a ripper. I can go ahead and get the wash away off later. The instructions say, cut away the excess stabilizer from around the back of the design. Use a wet cotton swab. Dissolve away remaining topping and stabilizer from the project. Lay flat to dry. If stitching on a tote, follow part 3 and finish the storage tote. Okay, finishing the storage tote right here. We are going to go ahead and take this. I'm going to look at the instructions as we do it. And it wants you to lay the smooth side up. This is the textured. This is the smooth. 1, 2. This is 1, 2, 3, 4. And fold section 4 over to the left, just like this. Whoops, forgot that piece of tape. Fold section 4 over to the left, covering section 3. The right side of the design will be facing you. That's what we have. Next step, stitch section 4 down by top stitching all the way around each side. So we are going to stitch this down and we are going to top stitch. Make sure those corners match up with this corner and that corner. And we are going to go ahead and top stitch around the entire thing. So I'm going to go ahead and put a pink bobbin in. This is just one that I had. And then this is the perfect pink for your tote. And this is Blush. I'm going to go ahead and put in my compact walking foot with the regular sole. And we're going to go ahead and stitch this down. So let's meet over at the machine. So let's go ahead and we're going to switch this over to sewing. Whoops. Let me say okay to finish the embroidery. We're going to clear that, and I'm going to go into my sewing. My arm is going to move out of the way. I'm also going to go ahead and put on my walking foot. And I always say this, that should never be loose enough for you to undo by hand. You should always need a screwdriver to do that. And this is the easiest walking foot to put on. You're just going to put this over the screw from the back. Ooh, I can't see there. Hand tighten it. Tighten it a little bit more with the screwdriver. And plug it in the back. That tells it it's on. I'm going to put in a pink bobbin. It's not the exact same shade of pink, so you might want to wind a matching bobbin, but this is just in my stash and I feel like getting rid of it. And I'm going to thread up the top with Blush, which matches the tote perfectly. Blush is another glide color. And I'm just going to do a straight stitch. I am set up right now at 2.5. I'm just going to go to a 3. And we're going to go ahead and top stitch. And the first place I'm going to sew is I'm just going to sew right down here to kind of hold it in place. And then I'll go around the edges. But I'm going to kind of match this corner up with that little innie. And then I'll match the other corner up with the other innie. And then everything else should fall into place. I think I'll have an easier time if I flip it this way. I don't know what happened. I got something icky on my thing. I'm going to have to figure out what that is and how to get it off. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to use my projector so I can kind of keep track of where my stitch is going. Here's the projector, and I'll project down my stitch, and then I'll go ahead and sew. What is that? It seems like I'm getting all sorts of little icky things on. Okay, here we go. Whoops, sorry. It's always a challenge sewing with the camera in between me and the embroidery arm. And there are still times that I like to use my hand wheel to bring my needle down. Here we go. Piece of tape right there too. Let's get that off. And my auto pivot's on. I feel like I need one more stitch, but I'm just going to go ahead and turn it. Here we go. Nope, we need one more stitch. Okay. All right. One more. Okay. Okay, go ahead and turn it. You. One more. Whoop. I overshot. Oh. There. All right. Because it is blush on blush, I don't think you'll notice that. I think I have my foot control set up, my multifunction foot control to do one stitch. If you're like me, sometimes you overshoot. I just couldn't remember which part of my petal it was set to. And we are stitched down. Our top stitching is done. Let's put it all together. Okay. So we are stitched down. I don't know what icky stuff I got on here, but I'll have to use some alcohol to see if I can get it off. I got something smudgy on this. And now that it's sewn down, you're going to flip the tote textured side up. This is the smooth side, textured side up. And fold the handle flap closest to you in towards the middle. Pull the left and right flaps closest to you towards the center. And then we're just going to weave it. So now it looks like this. You're going to weave one handle in through the bottom hole and then up through the top hole. Or do I go the other way? From the inside of the tote, thread the handle flap through the bottom slot and pull taut. Oh, hang on. This way. From the outside. from the inside of the tote. Hang on, like this and this. From the inside of the tote, thread the handle flap through the bottom slot and pull taut. Yeah. Okay. And then the other side, same thing. Pull these towards you from the inside. And there you go. There is your home for the holidays. And here are your little handles. And then you can choose to put whatever you want into this. Isn't it cute? That is really, really sweet. And I think if I have time, I'll go ahead and I'll put it on an apron. And we'll do it on some tea towels. And those would make great gifts for the neighbors. I needed something to give to them. So here's your No Place Like Home, home for the holidays. And you can put everything and anything in this little basket. That is it. Thank you so much for joining me. That was a cute one. And this is Kimberbell's Home for the Holidays December demo project for 2025. And I'll see you later. Bye.